How peculiar.
Hand me his gravy water. Give me his gravy water.
No. You just be careful with that stuff. It sounds like, guys, it sounds like to me that this is possibly spiked with some type of psychoactive substance, and I'm thinking maybe DMT.
What is DMT?
Ooh, I like
you guys
those
hear that
initials.
piano? That was crazy.
What piano?
DMT is known by its chemical name dimethyltryptamine, or more commonly DMT. DMT is a chemical that appears naturally throughout all of nature. It's in plants, it's in fungus, it's in animals, it's everywhere. It's just this natural sort of naturally occurring
Omnipresent.
naturally occurring chemical.
Beautiful vocab word.
Thank you. Double natural. So this particular substance not only occurs naturally in everyone, but also makes you trip if you isolate it and smoke it. And this effect was explored most famously by a man named Terence McKenna in the 90s and early 2000s.
And they
Connected with him right there.
I think it's the slow sort of gravy water onset dementia. Like we're reaching levels of DMT that we shouldn't have in our bodies, I think, and that's what we're seeing right now with Nick.
I'm digging it.
Yeah, well, you're...
Say it. I want to know how you finish that sentence, Kaz.
a wonderful person.
Thank you.
With a high tolerance for psychoactive chemicals.
Still true.
So Mr. McKenna explored the effects of this drug almost in like a shamanistic way, right? Like we don't really have medicine men in Western culture, but this was sort of an exploration of an altered state of conscious from an academic point of view. He wasn't like, let's get high, man, and like drink the gravy water. Like he wanted to find out what this was doing and what sort of effect it was having.
Dosage.
So, correct. Right. This was coming from a clinical standpoint. And he actually had some studies and got other people together and had them catalog their experiences with it. And something kind of unique came out of that in that they all sort of, obviously not 100% across the board, but there was the majority of experiences displayed this sort of shared encounter while under the sort of more heavy effects of this drug. And I think that Terence McKenna believed that he was, I guess, communing with something that we weren't able to communicate with without the aid of this particular substance or this chemical. And oddly enough, he described them as what would be bejeweled, bouncing, sort of light-emitting basketballs that he would see.
Sounds familiar.
I love that alliteration. Bejeweled bouncing basketballs.
I think we opened for those guys in Tampa.
Of course you did. Terrence, one of the more, I guess, quoted experiences that he had was, and this sort of plays into the DMT elves theory in that there's this kind of almost what he would call a society of these beings existing just outside of our consciousness with the only ability to kind of interact with them through this chemical.
Interesting.
And these experiences that Terence McKenna had, and I guess the more famous sort of quote that came out of this was after one of his explorations, you could call it, he said the sort of psychedelic fractal experience that you would normally associate with a psychoactive substance like this wasn't the arresting thing for him, wasn't the intriguing thing. He said, quote, what arrests my attention is the fact that this space that you enter is actually inhabited. That there's an immediate impression that as you break into this space, you hear a cheer. You are immediately swarmed and welcomed by these squeaking, self-transforming elf machines.
This sounds awesome.
Made of light.
I am totally doing this weekend.
You break into this space and are immediately swarmed by squeaking, self-transforming elf machines made of light and grammar and sound, and they come swarming towards you and tumbling and say, hooray, welcome, you're here, you finally made it.
Dudes, I am so bad at grammar.
It's working.
Let me be.
So I think